All right, everybody, welcome back to Cooking A to Z. Today we're going to be making one of my favorite desserts. This is a classic. We're making creme brulee today. So I went ahead and started out by separating 4 egg yolks. Now the reason you want to use egg yolks as opposed to the entire egg with this is because egg yolks make it nice and creamy. If you use the entire egg, you're going to end up with a kind of a firm, rubbery creme brulee, and you don't want that. So we got 4 egg yolks. We're going to add to that a teaspoon of vanilla. And I'm using a 1/4 cup of Swerve because I want to make this keto friendly. If you're someone who's not concerned about that, you could use a 1/4 cup of sugar. Works the same way. So what we're going to do first is go ahead and take this, and we just want to make sure that all those ingredients get mixed up. I've seen some people use a mixer with this. I don't really feel like that's necessary. I think just using the basic whisk is fine. Just want to make sure that everything's mixed, that the egg yolks get kind of the way they're looking now. That's a nice kind of a creamy. All right, so we've got that taken care of. We're going to set this aside. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to heat up 2 cups of heavy cream, and we'll get started on that in just a moment. All right, so we've got our 2 cups of heavy cream in the saucepan, and what we're going to do now is we want to bring this to basically just below a boil. So you'll start to see like if you start to see tiny bubbles pop up, that's when you want to pull it off. You don't want to bring it to a boil. And I should mention one thing about the creme brulee that I really like. Today we're just making just a classic creme brulee, but there's so many variations of this that you can make. I've made it before with pistachios. If you're somebody who likes lemon, you can incorporate lemon into it. It's just, we're doing the basic today, but there's so many different things that you can do with it. I think that's one of the things that makes it such a great dessert. So yeah, let me know in the comments below if you've ever made this before. What do you like about it? One thing about this as well is the fact that we're going to be making this for a fraction of the price that you would have if you went out to a restaurant and had this. I've seen it anywhere from like $7 to $9 depending on what restaurant you're at. So, you know, you can make this at home, like I said, for a fraction of the price. It's not really all that difficult. It takes a little bit of time, but and if you want to impress your friends or family, if you're having people over, definitely suggest making this, and I think you'll be a pretty popular person. I do want to give a shout out to all the people who've subscribed to my channel. I've been doing this now for about 2 months. And if you're one of my subscribers, I definitely appreciate you subscribing, watching the videos. If you're not somebody who's subscribed and you like this type of content, consider doing that. Consider liking the video and also sharing it out. That helps me get my channel out to more people. All right, I think that looks like that is just about ready to go. So what we're going to do now is take this off the heat. We're going to set this aside, and then once this has a chance to cool for just a bit, we'll move on to the rest of the recipe. All right, so the heavy cream has been off the burner now for about 15 minutes. I would not suggest taking the heavy cream directly off the heat and pouring it into the egg mixture because you're going to end up with scrambled eggs, and you don't want that. Even at this point, I'm going to go ahead and temper in a little bit of the heavy cream into the egg mixture and give that a stir. This also will help it so that you don't end up with scrambled eggs, but at this point it's not quite as much of a concern because it's been off the heat for, like I said, 15 minutes. And that's exactly what you want right there, so that looks good. We're going to go ahead and add the rest of the heavy cream into that. And we'll get the ramekins out, and we'll get those prepared, and we'll get this in the oven. So check back here in just a moment. All right, so we've got our ramekins in a shallow pan, and we want to just go ahead and fill those full of the creme brulee mixture. Just try to make sure that they're as even as possible. Looks pretty good there. All right, the next thing you want to do is take hot water, and you're going to fill the pan up about 3/4 full. 3/4 up the way of the ramekins. Let's see. Let's go just a little more. All right, that looks good. Now we're going to take this and pop it into the oven. I got the oven preheated at 325 degrees, and we're going to let it go for anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. This is probably going to be more towards the 45-minute because these are a little deeper ramekins. If you have some of the shallower ones, you could probably get by with 30 minutes. Basically what you're looking for when these are finished is it's going to be firm on the top, but the underneath will still kind of jiggle if you shake the ramekin. So that's what you're looking for. We'll go ahead and put these in the oven, and we'll check back and finish them up after that. All right, so we just took the creme brulee out of the oven, and as you can see, they're still in the water bath. We're going to transfer these to the refrigerator. I would suggest letting them set 2 to 4 hours, or if you can even go overnight, that's even better. And then once they've had a chance to set up, we will take one of them out, add about a tablespoon of swerve to it, and hit it with the torch to get it nice and brown on top. And then we'll give it a taste test. So we'll check back here in a little bit. All right, I've got the creme brulee out of the refrigerator. I added a little less than a tablespoon of swerve to it. And the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and get the torch and torch the top of it. You just want like a nice brown crust on top. Should note here, if you don't have the torch, this also works well if you stick it in the oven and put your oven on broil. That'll work as well. So either way, so we're going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll give it a taste here in a moment. Alright, we had a little technical difficulties there. I ran out of fuel for the torch, so I had to refill it. That would just be my luck that would go in the middle of filming, so. Oh well, such is life. So, this is really just personal preference. I'm not somebody who likes it to be super brown on top. Really just depends. That to me looks fine. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Get a little bit of a crust on top. So we'll go ahead and give this a taste. All right, guys, let's give this a taste. First thing I noticed is you got that, I don't know if you can hear it, you got the crust there. That's what we want to see in here. Let's give this a taste. Oh yeah. I definitely recommend you try this at home. It is delicious. And like I said, so much cheaper than you have when you go out to restaurants. Definitely give this a thumbs up. And guys, appreciate you tuning into this video, and we will catch you in the next video.